Good morning, everybody. It's me, Heather Nichols, and welcome to the Tailored Expressions Live. It is Thursday, November 7th. I'm going to pull up my chat here and see if you guys are joining me today. So pop in, tell me who you are. Well, I know who you are because your name pops up with the chat. So tell me where you're watching from. Tell me if you have some crafty projects going on today. How is the weather where you are? I am in central Minnesota, if you didn't know, the St. Cloud area, and it has been gray, so gray this week. Gray and rainy and foggy, and it's cold. It's like in the 40s, maybe the 50s this week, but it's been definitely very rainy and gray here. Perfect indoor, like stay inside and do all the crafting types of weather for sure. So there you guys popping in. It's good to see you today. So I hope you guys are doing well. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Sarah from Ohio. It's good to see you. Maybe it's taking a minute here. Maybe it's just the three of us, Terry and Sarah and me. I don't know. So, no, I think there's more of you, for sure. There's Rachel, good morning. It's good to see you. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a good week. I think we're having a little bit of there's been some things going on. And so there's a little bit of this week has been a lot for everybody. So yes, Terry said it's sunshine and cold in Bird Island, Minnesota. Well, I hope there is some sunshine. There was one point yesterday where I walked outside and it was bright and I was like, whoa, because it has been so gray this week. So good to see you guys popping in. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Peggy from Louisiana. Good morning, Farley in California. Cold for us, 45. It was like 30 something when I left to bring Tasty Today program this morning. Good morning, Beth. Oh, now you guys are really flying in. Good morning, Marilyn. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Sherry from Arizona. It's good to see you guys today. So yeah, good morning, Marsha. I'm so sorry. Marsha, Janine. It's great to see all of you. So many people popping in and joining us today for the live. So it's good to see you. We're going to do some crafting today with the newest gift with purchase when you spend $100 or more. I love it. I hope you love it. And I hope you love the project I'm going to share. Maybe you've already earned it because we are into November for a few days. And so you have already had a chance to do a little bit of shopping this week. We have some things going on. I know you may have seen it's Gnome-vember. And so we are featuring our cute gnome collection, all of the gnomes that you can create and all of the outfits that you can put on them for all of the different seasons. So if you're needing inspiration for that, check out the blog. I know that Rachel has put some great inspiration pieces up there for you to look at. And also in the web store, we have a gnome section so you can get all of your gnome stuff all in one place. So check that out. And with each product that you click, there's obviously lots of inspiration in there as well. So I know that gnomes have been one of a favorite thing here at TE, and so we are celebrating them in November. It's hard to say. All right, and the other thing that's going on this week is, I have to scroll down for new comments. There we go. The other thing going on this week is it is registration for virtual Stamp Joy. It feels like we just got home from Stamp Joy. And in fact, some of you that are doing the virtual option not this weekend, but next weekend, you haven't even finished that, but we're already getting ready for our next get together. And I hope that you join us. It is next March and we have registration going on now. And there's an early bird price if you register before a certain date, and that date is flying out of my head. But if you go to our website, there is a place you can click and you can get all of the information for joining us, and I hope you decide to because we love crafting with you. There's a ton of projects coming your way, so much inspiration. I'll be going down to Ankeny, so I'll be coming to you live with Taylor and some of the other design team members. So yeah, it's going to be a great time. So it's better than, not as good as getting together in person, but I love that we have that option so we can all craft together from all places of the world, quite honestly. So yes, Shauna, you're making sweaters today for holiday cards. Yay. She also loves the gnomes as well. So yeah. Gail, did you say it's shorts weather in Pennsylvania? I can hardly believe that because we are definitely not wearing shorts here in Minnesota. Although a few weeks ago we had 80 degrees. So I can see how the weather's been just kind of crazy lately. It's not following its normal stuff for sure. So Beth, you're looking forward to next weekend and you are already registered for Virtual Stamp Joy. Awesome. Marilyn is reminding me that the Virtual Stamp Joy discount ends on the 19th. I can always count on you guys when I do not remember or forget to write it down. So, and Bonnie just brought up, she just got her advent calendar. Yes, mine is coming. I don't have mine yet, but it should arrive any day. I haven't seen what's in them, but I've been in enough meetings that I've kind of heard some little things about what might be in there, and I think you guys are going to be really excited about that. And so yeah, that's coming. And also we have a few that if you did not pre-order an advent calendar and you're like, I missed out, I want to do it, we have some in the store right now that you can purchase. I don't know how many are left, so if you want one of the advent calendars, you need to jump on it and go get that. I missed out last year. I missed out on the pre-order and any of the extras, and I regretted it. Seriously, I was so sad. Lori and Jill had their advent calendars and they talked about what they got each day, and I was so jealous. So I did not want to miss this year, and I don't think you want to miss this year either. So if you need to get that, to bring a little sunshine every day into some of these kind of winter, I love winter, but they can be gray days for sure. So yes, Marilyn, your advent calendar arrived too. Mary, you put yours in the closet. That's the thing. When you get this box with all these cute little bags to open each day in December, are you someone that you wait? You're really good about waiting, or do you put it away so that you can save it for December 1st, which is coming so fast, you guys. It's going to be here before you know it. So I am good at waiting. I think I like that little bit of joy every day for sure. But I know that there's some people that you just can't wait, and so you open it all up. So Valerie, yours is out for delivery. Kimberly, your calendar just arrived. Awesome. Like I said, I think mine might be coming today. I have, I get the little mail tracker thing on my phone and in my email, and I know mine shipped, so it is on the way, but I haven't gotten mine yet. Mary, your team wait. Carrie, you put yours on the shelf and it calls to you. Linda, you wait. It is very fun. And if you didn't know, if you're new to our whole advent calendar thing, the Fridays in December, Taylor will, on the Fridays, open the advent calendar packets from that week, and she'll do a project using the things in those bags. So it's really fun. Even if you don't get the advent calendar, it's on our regular YouTube channel, so you can watch it. So yes, it's something that's so super fun. Anna, you save yours until Christmas Day. That's kind of fun. Open them all on Christmas Day. That's some willpower, I tell you right there. Oh, Bonnie, you ordered yours this week and you're just waiting for it to be shipped. They're pretty fast down there, so it should be soon. So, okay, so that's what's going on this week. Gnomes, Virtual Stamp Joy registration, and the Advent calendar. So what's coming up next week, we have some things coming your way. Now, if you were at the in-person Stamp Joy, you got a sneak peek of some of these things, but we have some new crafty tools coming next week. I have a few of them. I went to the Stamp Joy store. I did not get there until, I don't know, I think it was Saturday at some point, and you guys had cleaned out like so much stuff. So there are things that I want for sure. So I got a couple of the new things, so I've got those on my desk today, so you might get a little sneak peek of those. And one of the things that's coming out, you also got a sneak peek at Virtual Stamp Joy, and I think you could purchase some of this stuff purchase this item in the store as well, but it has to do with color swatching. And so I'll show you. We have projects coming to your way that will inspire you to do some color blends, some different color blends. And we have a tool to help you kind of document your color blends onto your True Color story cards. So here's my little card that I did for my project. So if you'll notice, we have nice fully colored in little squares here, and this rectangle, I have this great blend. So we have a tool coming out that you get to do that with. So that's coming next week as well. And then we all created projects with color blends to inspire you as well. So these are not new products. These are products you have seen before, but these are using the color blend that I chose and then creating a project with them. So you can see I kind of went with the postage theme, and I used a stencil that is tried and true. That is the Spring Fling stencil, and created some postage kind of inspired projects. You guys remember when I did the postage project? I think it was in the summer. Here's one of the cards that I did. I can never line myself up right here, where I used one of the, I'm going to say this is this a triple slim card that creates the garden, and I did it onto the postage stacklets. So these are, again, postage stacklets that I did add stencils to create my own postage look. So that's my project for next week. And you're gonna see projects from the rest of the creative team. So if you want all sorts of color blend inspiration, make sure you get back here next Tuesday. So you're gonna see all of that inspiration. You're gonna see all of the new tools that you're gonna need on your crafty desk. And of course, they're the perfect color for TE, you know that, right? And yeah, so it's all things you need. Like I said, I would have bought more, but everyone at Stamp Joy cleaned out that store pretty darn quick. So, all right, so let's get to our project today. And this project is done using this month's gift with purchase. I'm sorry, you can totally see my phone right here. Let me lower that down just a little bit. Not that it makes a huge difference, but so this is the gift with purchase this month. You probably have seen it on the website. Maybe you already put it in order and you have earned this. This is the Bloomcore Print stamp. And so we're going to create with this today. If you click on the website on the gift with purchase, there are some samples from Jill Hawkins that you can look at. And of course, Jill creates colorful, rainbowy designs. I love, there's one that she did where she stamped this in gray and then she highlighted different areas in other colors, kind of the spotlight technique. That's probably my favorite card that she did with this. So there's going to be so many great things that you're going to see made with this. And I think you can use this for so many occasions. Florals are great for weddings, sympathy cards, everyday cards, birthday cards. You can use floral for so many things. And I think you cannot ever have too many florals in your collection. I think they're great because when you just don't know what to create with, that's what I usually grab. So let's flip down and I'll show you what we're going to create today. So let me take you down to my desk. So we are going to create an anniversary card with the Bloomcore Print stamp. So I'm going to tell you guys, it is my 27th wedding anniversary tomorrow. So doing this project helps me get my card done to give to my husband tomorrow. So thankfully he doesn't watch this, but it was perfect timing. And this was a beautiful stamp to use for an anniversary card. We're also going to use the Folk Love die collection to make the letters for the word love. And then the anniversary stamp is in the With Love. There's a stamp set, but there's also foilet panels as well. So there's that anniversary stamp. So we'll get there. But first, let's create this background with the Bloomcore Print stamp. Thank you guys. All the happy anniversaries popping up on the screen. We don't have any crazy plans. We're going to have lunch together tomorrow. And then we have some trips coming up and things like that. So we always say, you know, oh, you're going to go on your trip, or we have some purchases or something like that. So that's how we're celebrating our anniversary. All right, so I'm going to grab my mini Misty. We're going to do some embossing with this. So I started off with a piece of confetti cake cardstock. And really, when you guys look at this card and when you see how I do this technique, you can do exactly what I'm doing on whatever color you want, and you can just make a rainbow of these cards. So basically picking something that will go with who you're giving the card to, or if you want to create a set of cards or whatever. So like I said, I use confetti cake, but I can see this done in so many colors. So we're going to start off by stamping, and we're going to do some embossing. So I'm going to use my mini Misty here, and we're just going to get that stamp in there first of all. And then I need my adhesives so I can stick my cardstock down. This stamp is pretty big, so it covers pretty much that whole, most of that A2 piece of cardstock. So yes, if you're looking at the days, and if you have family that's in hunting at all, you'll know that Chad and I are not hunters because our wedding was on opening deer hunting, which a lot of people didn't really love when we did it, but we didn't know because we are not hunters. And hey, you know what? The buildings for our reception and the church, they were all available. It was amazing. All right, so I'm going to stamp this with Versamark ink, but before I stamp, I'm getting ahead of myself and I need to condition my cardstock because we're embossing and I don't want static to build up. I want to have a clean embossed image, and the powder tool is going to condition your cardstock so that those embossing powder pieces stay where you want them to stay. Okay, so I'm stamping this with Versamark ink. I'm going to grab my Just Press tool that I know I just saw a minute ago. Just stamp this onto the cardstock. I'll need a few impressions. I think that's one thing when you're stamping with Versamark ink. Even though it's a clear ink, make sure you stamp a couple of times to get a good overall impression. You want to have a good coverage of ink so that you have a spot for that embossing powder to stick. Embossing pads, and the Versamark pad is a slow, sticky drying ink, so your embossing powder will stick to it. That is what your goal is. Hi, Jennifer from Utah. You're a bit late. Totally fine. You can always watch the replay to see if you missed anything in the beginning that you wanted to know about. So I'm going to actually do this stamping one more time. 3 for good measure. And I can see that I have a pretty good image going on there. Versamark is also considered just like a watermark ink as well. So if you wanted just to have an impression on your cardstock that was just a shade darker than your cardstock, that's what you can do. That's how you can do that. You can either stamp with the same color ink, or Versamark works for that too. All right, we've got clear embossing powder that we're going to sprinkle over the top of the stamped image. Make sure I've got good coverage over the whole thing. Just going to put this right back into the container. And then let's do some embossing. My heat tool here, make sure that's nice and hot. And then we're going to emboss this until it is just shiny. You don't want to emboss too long in an area, because if you over emboss or overheat, excuse me, you actually will melt the embossing powder into the cardstock, which it looks oily. That's the only way I can describe it. Has kind of an oily look, and that means you've overheated your embossing. So definitely keep your embossing gun moving and covering that whole image, and not too long. I've got most of it here. Let me make sure. Oh, I missed a little spot over here. I think we are good. All right, there is our embossed image. So that's just with the clear embossing powder. And so you could leave it like this. This is beautiful just like it is. But I wanted to do a little bit more to it to give it just a little bit more of a, I don't know, just to step it up, I guess. You know, guys know I like things a little bit more rustic, so we're definitely going to do some splattering. But I also wanted to kind of give it a little bit of variation in color tone. So we're going to do emboss, kind of an emboss resist technique with Sugar Cube ink. Sugar Cube is a pigment ink, so but it'll sit on the embossing powder, and then we're going to be able to wipe it away. So it'll change the color of the cardstock, but the embossed image will stay the color that is there. So I'm going to use a sponge dauber. You could use a blender brush as well. And I'm just going to start in the middle. And I'm just going to work my way out, because I would like the brightest part of the white to be kind of in the middle, just to kind of give it kind of a, I don't know, kind of a glowy look, I guess. It's really soft. It's really soft and elegant. And as you can see right now, it looks kind of like I've got white ink all over my embossed image. So I'm trying to kind of soften as I go to the edge of the image, so it kind of feathers out from the sides. So I'm kind of pouncing with my little sponge dauber to get that softer on the edges. Susan, this is the Bloomcore Print stamp. This is the free gift with purchase with $100 or more purchase this month at Tailored Expressions. Okay, so I'm kind of softening the edges. So there I've got kind of that white in the middle, and it's softening out to the confetti cake on the outside. Then I'm just going to take like a paper towel or a tissue or something like that. You can get it wet if you want. You don't want it super wet, maybe just slightly damp if you feel like that's not helping wipe away that white ink off of your embossing. But look at the difference this makes. It really sharpens up the image. And creates just a beautiful, elegant look. And like I said, you could do this on so many different colors of cardstock and it would just be so beautiful on a whole rainbow of colors. So I'm feeling really good about that. And of course, I love to splatter. And so of course I'm going to splatter this. I know splattering isn't for everybody. That's okay. I like to splatter with a combination of chocolate truffle liquid watercolor. So I'm going to just put some on my block here. A lot of times I have enough on my block already that I can use some of that. But I think I'm getting kind of low. I have a water brush. You can use a paintbrush to splatter as well. I pick up that chocolate truffle liquid watercolor and I'm just going to tap that over my finger to add just a little bit of splatter. You don't need too much, just enough to give it a little bit more of a rustic touch. And then I'm going to clean my brush off. And then we're going to go for the white, which we're using the Dr. Peach Martens. It's always a mouthful. It's a mouthful to say, it's a mouthful to type on my blog post. Dr. Peach Martens Bleed Proof White Ink. So I'm going to pick up some of that white ink on the inside. I like to just kind of work it into the lid. You can use an acrylic block to do this as well. I've got a water brush, so of course it's getting some water mixed in with it as well. And then we're going to go ahead and splatter with just a touch of white. And that looks good. So it just kind of gives it a little bit more of a rustic look. Like I said, you don't have to splatter. That is not something you have to do if you don't like what it looks like. I love to splatter. You could do, if you wanted more elegant, you could do one of the metallic watercolor paints, like a gold or a silver would be beautiful. You could just splatter with, you could get one of the darker teal colors like the blue raspberry or Cookie Monster. That would be pretty because that would stand out on the confetti cake cardstock. But I think this just turned out, it's just a pretty look. It's perfect for, like I said, I'm using mine for an anniversary card. You could use it for a wedding as well. Bonnie, my brush is a Faber-Castell brush that you can find it on Amazon. We have looked into getting it for the tea store, but we have different suppliers and have not been able to get it. But we do have in the store, I believe it's this one here, the Tim Holtz one. Maybe that one's yellow. I'm not sure. This one has a smaller bristle tip, which gives you small splatters, but you can definitely splatter with that one as well. I guess this is just the one I like. I like the size of those bristles and everything, so this is what I keep going for. Like I said, you can use just a regular paintbrush as well. You don't have to have the same water brush that I have. I'm just going to wipe up the surface here. Just giving this a few minutes to dry. It actually dries pretty quickly. In fact, I can just kind of hit the top with a paper towel to get any of those water droplets, the rest of them gone. And we are ready to do some die cutting. We're going to cut out this with one of the A2 Layer Stacklets dies. One of my most used die collections. If you don't have this one, this is one that I use all of the time. Probably on the majority of my card projects. Those stacklet sets, I pull them out all the time. Okay, so where I'm going to go to the third one down. This one tends to be my go-to for layering on a card. It gives you about a 1/4 inch border around the outside of the card. This one is going to be the full A2 size. This is going to be like an 1/8 inch down, and then this is an 1/8 inch down from that. And of course, we have the additions too, so you can get the even more graduated steps in between. And Vicki, I answered the question about the water brush. It's a Faber-Castell water brush. Mine is from Amazon. We don't carry it. We've looked into carrying it. As soon as they can carry it, if they can, we will, I'm sure, because I beg Taylor all the time. We should get my water brush. But we do have some water brushes. They're a little bit different in the store, but they still work. So I'm just taping that in place, and we're going to cut out that print. I just kind of centered it in that rectangle. And use my Scotch removable tape here. We're going to get that off of there. So now this is going to be ready to put on the card. So I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to cut out the things that we need for my letters. So I already did the happy anniversary. So I foiled this with champagne foil and cut it out with the coordinating die, and actually have it stacked up. I think there's like 2 layers behind there. So that one is ready. But we're going to cut out the folk love letters. These came out last year. Valentine's Day release last year, so last January. And then we've come up with some other of the folk letters. I think we have Mom, and then we also have Joy that came out for Christmas. And I know that people are taking those letters and trying to figure out what we can spell with them. So we'll see. I love these, the style of these letters. They're so fun. I'm going to cut these out twice because we're going to stack these up twice for the card. I wonder if I can get 2 out of 1 piece here. I turn it that way. Sometimes I move too fast and then I'm like, oh, I need another piece. All right. Just gonna pop those out of there. And we're gonna cut these out one more time from this side. The dauber that I used is actually the Nuvo little sponge. So there's like a pack, I think you get 4 in a box. I believe we have these. I don't know if they're in stock. Look under supplies on the website. Valerie is looking for gray cardstock, a nice light gray. Earl Grey is a little bit darker. It's not as light as Oyster. Sea Salt is going to be your lightest gray. If you want something just a little bit darker than a white. It actually looks really cool if you stamp white on it. But I would say if you're looking for something lighter, Oyster would be your one. And Earl Grey is a little bit, to me, it's almost a little bit more mid-tone gray, if that makes sense. And Oyster is a little bit lighter. Okay, so I've got my letters cut out twice here, so let's glue these together. Oop. So I have a little bit of height on those letters. Whenever there's something that is a little bit of a delicate die cut like that, and you want to have a little bit more dimension, it's nice to do, to stack them up versus put a foam adhesive behind them, because the foam adhesive is just going to be a mess behind them. And then when you stack them up, that just gives it a nice polished look. So I'm just popping out these little insides here. Oop, there's the V. Arthur, you want a whole alphabet of these letters? I think that would be awesome. Like I said, we have several out already. And I think I remember seeing, I think it was on the Fans of Tailored Expressions Facebook page, somebody was taking the letters that were available and writing all of the possible word combinations. I'm thinking, am I thinking right that somebody did that? You might just look up like the folk words or whatever, and I bet that post would come up. I'm pretty sure I saw somebody doing that. Oh, Barbara, you splatter with Posca pens. I have some. I have not played with splattering with them. But they definitely would be great because it's an acrylic ink in those pens, so it would show up beautifully on cardstock. I'll have to give that a try. I have a nice little collection of Posca pens. I don't have all of them, but I have a healthy collection of them. So really that would apply to, I wonder if you just play around, if you've got some different like white pens and things like that, if you play around with splattering. Okay, got my little bits poked out of my letters. I'm gonna grab my liquid adhesive. I know a lot of people like using the glue press. I don't have a glue press yet, but I love multimedia matte, and so that is what I'm going to use to pop these together. When I'm doing layered letters or layered die cut pieces like this, I tend to add the adhesive to the front of what I'm layering on top of. We're just gonna dot this glue. Don't need a ton. And then we're gonna stack these on top. Once I get these in place, I like to use magnets to hold them in place. That's one of the beauties of the glass mat being magnetic, is when you're gluing these pieces like this and you want stuff to stay still, you can just pop that magnet on top and it's going to be good to go. All right, here's some more dot, dot, dot for the L. Virginia, you like the splatter background stamp? That is the perfect thing to use when you want to have a little bit more, you know, I know splattering for some people, it can make you worried that you're gonna wreck something. And I get that, I do. I think it takes a lot of practice in getting to know the tools that you're using to work on your splatter. But the background stamp lets you splatter without having to worry about anything. The splatters are already where they're gonna be, and you can splatter right over the top. I see some eagle eyes out there talking about maybe some things that you're seeing on my desk that you might come back next week to see in Taylor Shows Some More. Okay, there's our E. I have to laugh though. This is obviously new, and these have obviously lived on my desk for a while if you're noticing the splatters. Joan, the glue bottle holder I actually got as a gift from a friend, and I don't remember. It literally has been something I have had for years. I know, my guess is if you put the glue bottle holder like on a search on Etsy or something, because I think it was Etsy or something like that, but it's like a 3D printed thing, but I can't think of the name of where it's from. Oop, the O definitely has a direction, just FYI. Then we're going to glue those two together. I'm sure you can find something for a glue bottle holder. Like I said, literally, I would say I probably have had this one 10 years plus, something like that. I've had a very long time. There's that. So this one should be good because it's been under that magnet for a while. It usually gives it just enough pressure and time to kind of make sure that that's all staying in one place. We've got our L. Let's see, L, O, V, E. Go this way. You know how you do a letter and you can just tell that it's not quite right? Okay, I'm gonna just hold this all down. I'm gonna grab my happy anniversary first because I'm gonna set that into the center of the letters. And so I can kind of get my spacing of my letters the way that I want. I'm going to grab my ruler too and use that centering side just to make sure that things are kind of in place the way that I want them to be. I'm going to be lazy this time and just use my tape runner on the back. And I'm doing it for a couple reasons. Number one, it's faster. Number two, when it sticks to the card, I don't have to give it time. It's going to stick right away. Just using this little pick to get the little things out of the center of the holes. So, okay, we're going to just slide this so that I can get that straight. Well, now, make it by marker. Are these from you? I want to say that's right. And like I said, I got them as a gift from a friend. Years and years ago. Okay, and then I need to put my love, my L and my O. So again, I'm going to grab my ruler. We're going to just center that on there. Like I said, when I'm using my tape runner, I'm just going to run. Usually I just run my little die pick thing right along there. Gets all those little extra pieces out of there. This one is the one that lays down the dot pattern, so it really forms to whatever shape your die cut is, but there's sometimes little overhangs here or there. Yeah, the tip on my bottle is a quilling tip. And I, of course, got it at Crafts Direct, which was my local craft store, and many of you have heard that craft store closed. So I will have to find another spot to get those from. Okay, so I've got my love on there, so let's go ahead and add that happy anniversary in there. It's going to overlap my E just a little bit, so I wanted to put this one on second because that's going to go like right here. And it's got that little bit of shine. I've got the shine from the embossing powder, but I've also got the shine from the foiled sentiment as well. And of course you could, if you didn't have the foil it, you could also emboss that sentiment in gold from the stamp set, which also would be very pretty. I like the champagne. It's just a softer look. Okay, so I need a card base. I've got the toffee card base. This is actually the heavyweight toffee card base. This is the top fold one. You guys, instead of cutting your cardstock, get the pre-cut and scored ones. It makes it so much faster, believe me. Okay, I need some foam adhesive, so let me grab that. 2, 3, 4. That was one thing that I left under my desk. Now the magnetic ruler thing, I'm just gonna say, we might have our own coming out next week as well. That was something that was bought out of the stores that I don't have. Like I said, you guys shopped that store well. Okay, so this is the 1x3 thin foam strip, so it's going to give it just a little lift. I have a lot of dimension going on already, so I didn't want to get super thick on the back of the card. All right, let's get that centered on there. This is all about the eyeballing. Like I said, this panel, the A2 layer that I cut out with the stacklet die, it gives you about that 1/4 inch border on the sides of the card. So there we go. Smooth that out just a little bit. And there we go. A happy anniversary card created with the new Bloomcore Print stamp, which again is the gift with purchase when you spend $100 or more in the TE web store for November. I think we have some, once in a while we'll have exclusive gift with purchases, and of course we have the end of the month coming with lots of Black Friday sales and also season of crafting. So if this is on your eye, I would act quickly because I think this one's going to be gone before you know it. So again, perfect for an anniversary card. Okay, let me flip you guys back up to the top. We finished a little sooner today. That's okay. Sometimes cards are quicker than other cards. Hi. So thank you so much for joining me today and creating with the new Bloomcore Print stamp that again is that gift with purchase for November. So yeah, so we've got virtual stamp joy registration going on. We've got the advent calendar going on. Gnome-vember is going on right now. And then next week, like I said, join Taylor and you can learn all about the new crafty tools. You saw a couple things floating across my desk today. We've got crafty tools coming your way, a new way to do some swatching for when you're doing color blends. And so you're not going to want to miss what's coming out next week. So thank you so much for joining me. Jill's asking, when does the season of crafting start? I don't have that written down on my paper, but believe me, we will let you know for sure when that is going to start. It runs kind of right up to Black Friday, and I don't think it's quite 2 weeks. I want to say maybe it's 10 days, but please don't quote me on any of that stuff. Watch your social media for all of that information coming. So yes, Artha, yes, go look the advent calendar. There's only a few that we held to have in the shop, and when they're gone, they are gone, and you want to be a part of that. So thanks again so much for joining me, you guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you probably after Thanksgiving. So have a great rest of your month. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and